I also want to thank God for putting me here. If you guys really knew my story and how I ended here, it's nothing but God. Okay? And I also want to thank my mentors, Alfred, Ashton, and every single one of the leaders here up front. They've all contributed to my success. Yes, you guys can yes for that. Yes. So I also want to obviously thank my new husband, right? I said, hold on, we got to change the slide. We got to change the slide. Guys, in 2017, the first portion of my training is really telling you guys my story. In 2017, it was a very rough year. Anybody had one of those years that you don't want to replay? That was 2017 for me. I decided to end my marriage. I wasn't happy. And I know we try to keep it together for the kids, right? Anybody ever been there?
Yes.
But when you're not happy, nothing else matters because your kids see that, right? So I decided to rip that Band-Aid, and ripping that Band-Aid came with a lot of financial stress. I didn't know that the man I married and brought me to Florida for a job opportunity for himself would abandon us when I decided to end the relationship. He left back to Massachusetts and left me and my son in Florida with all the bills. Everything was in my name. I was working as a utility biller, wasn't making much, $20, $21 an hour. And I found myself struggling. When I ran out of money, when I couldn't pay my mortgage, I had to sell everything in my house. I sold dining room, living room sets, my son's stuff, just to pay the mortgage. And I remember crying every single night on an air mattress with my son, who was just diagnosed with autism. Any autism, mom or dad? That was tough for me. I cried every night, you know why? Because I felt like a failure. I felt like I failed him. And I started to think, maybe if I stayed with my husband, right? We start to have those. But I will tell you, one of the reasons that I walked away from that relationship is because I remember clearly my ex-husband telling me, "You're too ambitious. Why don't you just settle with what you have?" Well, I am ambitious, right? But I remember those words so clearly. And that's how I knew I was with the wrong person. See, the right person is going to push you.
Let's go.
So when I didn't have anything else to sell in the house to pay the mortgage, I went the bankruptcy route because I was facing foreclosure, repossession. That's the only way I could get to work. My commute was about an hour and a half there, hour and a half back to work at the time. And the biggest pain in my story is that every morning I have to drop off my son before care so that I can get to work on time. And so I would drop him off at 6 in the morning, and I didn't get to him till 6 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
If you do the calculation, guys, I'm a numbers person, just like Alyssa said earlier. 12 hours a day, 5 days a week, that I wasn't seeing my son grow. He was being raised by the morning care person, the people at the school, the aftercare, my mom and dad, who have been a huge support in that aspect. That hurt me. Do you guys understand that pain as a parent? why this company has changed my life. When this was presented to me, thank you. When this opportunity was presented to me, I didn't know Xavier from a hole in the wall. I was trying to do event planning in the area of Tampa, because I have some skills in that. And so I was just randomly adding people in Tampa so that I can invite people to the event so I can make money. And I clicked add friend somehow on Senior Vice President Xavier Marrero. And I started to follow his journey. I started to see his posts pop up. And I remember clearly being, clocking into that job, unhappy, living paycheck to paycheck. Think about this, guys. I would take home $500-$600 a week. My mortgage was $1,200. How was I ever going to buy furniture? I wasn't going to get off of that air mattress. So I said, something's got to change. So I reached out to Xavier and I said, I need to meet with you because I don't know. I don't trust this internet thing. So are you real? Right? And he agreed to meet with me in person. And a 30-minute meeting turned into a 4-hour conversation. That's a training point. Sometimes we're too busy trying to get through the information that we're not really getting to know the people. You see, if Xavier didn't take those 4 hours, which I know at the time he was very busy, but we had a lot in common. I think Xavier saw something in me there that I didn't see in myself because I was broken. He didn't know that. He didn't know I was at a breaking point. See, 2 weeks before I met Xavier, I experienced what they call a panic attack. I had to pull over, driving to work, and I said, what is this? I'm shaking. I had to get out the car. I couldn't drive. What is this? I've never experienced this before. So when I went to the doctor, he said, I actually drove myself to the hospital because I thought I was dying. And to be honest, that's how it felt. They said, ma'am, you're fine. Do you suffer from anxiety? I said, no. Long story short, I was diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and suffered major panic attacks that I couldn't even work. And what one of the therapists told me was, you suppressed so much for so long because no one knew that I was going through all of that. And that's why that happened to me, and that's part of my story. So when I met with Xavier and he told me all of this and he introduced this to me, I wasn't in the right space. I said, I just want to get my credit fixed. Anybody just join for that? And what a lot of people don't know, this is another training point. After meeting with Xavier, I call my best friend. Best friend, talk to her every single day. Hey girl, I found something. I'm gonna do it. Girl, you're crazy. You don't know that man? What if he scam you for your money? Guess what I did? I listened to her and I started as a customer. But guess what? 3 months later, I saw my credit score go up 196 points.
Let's go.
I had 65 negative items deleted. My credit was that bad. While I was going through that financial trouble, I told you I filed for the bankruptcy. I filed for it in 2017. this company removed it in 2018. Guys, I would have still had that bankruptcy on my credit report.
To this day.
Till 2027. At that point, I feel like I failed in Florida. I said, I'm going back home to Springfield, Massachusetts, where I'm from. Where's my people from Massachusetts? Think about the headspace that I was in. I feel like I failed. My credit went up, that was a good thing. I rent the U-Haul, put whatever's left that I have, pack my son, and I decided to go back to Massachusetts because that's what I knew. That's where the people that I knew were. If I was gonna rebuild myself, it had to be around people that I knew. But while driving up to Massachusetts, God said, you need to call that guy Xavier again.
Ooh, wee.
I said, Xavier, I'm gonna give you this money, but you think I can do this? He's like, come on, sis. I left $1.07 in my bank account.
Let's go.
And I said yes to this opportunity. I went back home. I made all the mistakes everybody makes. Started talking to everybody. I thought I knew everything. No one signed up. I had tons of people in my inbox. Girl, really? That's what you do? It's tons of people. So I said, I'm gonna do an event. That's what they told me to do in training. I'm gonna do an event. Do an event, call Xavier, you have to fly to Massachusetts. I got like hundreds of people coming to this event. Everybody's telling me they're coming. Well, Xavier did get on that flight, another training point. He didn't have to do that. I didn't pay for his flight. He saw something in me that I didn't see. And that's what I love about all the leaders up front here. They see something in you that you don't see.
Let's go!
He flew up to Massachusetts. He said, I'm bringing my boy with me. I said, all right, bring him up. I don't care. I don't care, just get here. Because I want to build this thing. Guess who he brings?
Raysa Santiago, the #1 recruiter.
Yep. My husband now, Raysa Santiago. He's telling me, hey, my boy, you're gonna get along with him. You guys are just alike. And then he's telling him, you're gonna love her. She's just like you. He was playing matchmaker or whatever, I don't know. Anyway, these Florida boys come to Massachusetts, and guess what happens? Snowstorm. As soon as they land, I swear, I said, X, I can't even come get you. I can't even get my car out the snow. Guess what happened at my event? 5 people showed up. Me, X, Rob, my friend that already had a 750 credit score, the bartender, and one of my friends from middle school. We didn't do the presentation. We went to the bar, took a couple shots instead. Hey, this was I'm saved now, okay? But I got my first customer in that room. That middle school friend signed up as a customer. So as my husband says, we closed half of the room. the rest was history. I spent the whole weekend with my mentor, listening to Rob, 90-day Rob, they called him at the time. He hit RSD in 90 days.
Woo!
So I spent the entire weekend next to them. I tried to get them to come out, but they're like, no, we're filling out pre-apps. I said, so I'm gonna fill out pre-apps with you too. Hold on. We're not going out. Personal development, right? That's my